Good day to you, Mayank sir. I am Ayush Tomar, and this is my presentation on temperature control using the 8085 microprocessor. So let me begin by introducing to you the problem that we're trying to face using the said microprocessor. So temperature control is simply, as the name suggests, you're trying to control the temperature of a particular enclosure or your particular surroundings. So for that you require a sensor that takes in the temperature from the surroundings of the enclosure, and then you read out the temperature and you see whether the temperature is the desired level or it's different from it. If it's different, then you use a heating element to bring in heat to the surrounding or take heat away from the surrounding in order to bring the temperature level close to the desired level. That's all there is to temperature control, and that's not exactly the problem that we're trying to solve here. What we're trying to solve here is an automated system that takes care of this temperature control without a human intervention. For that we require the 8085 microprocessor, which essentially replaces a human, and it takes in the reading from the sensor. It analyzes whether the temperature is the desired level, is at the desired level, or it's different. If it is different, it then analyzes whether we require the heat to be taken into the system, we require heat to be taken out of the system, and then after all these logical steps are undertaken, it sends its output signal to the heating element that is attached to the surroundings, and then gives its instruction to the heating element to do the necessary steps in order to bring the temperature level to the desired level. So yes, so the problem we are solving here is automated temperature control using the microprocessor. And now we are going to look into how we are going to solve this particular problem. So this is the basic outlook of the control system on your screen. So first step obviously involves taking input from the surroundings, the input being temperature, using a sensor. The sensor is going to convert that temperature value to a desired to an electrical signal. However, these electrical signals are A, analog in nature, and B, of low intensity, millivolts, milliamperes, and so on. Therefore, we require two additional things. We first require an amplifier. We are using an operational amplifier in this case, and we require an ADC, or an analog to digital converter, which is going to convert that analog signal to its digital counterpart. Because as we all know, a microprocessor can only read digital signals. It will reject analog signals. Okay. So now we need to send this digital output to the microprocessor. However, this transfer cannot take place directly. We require another device called the 8255 PPI, or the programmable peripheral interface. This 8255 PPI is going to take in the digital signal from the ADC, and then convert it into a form that the microprocessor can understand, and then give it to the microprocessor to do its necessary logical steps. The microprocessor then, which already we have programmed to take the necessary steps, is going to analyze whether the desired temperature that we've taken from the sensor is at the appropriate level, or whether there's a difference between the two. If there is a difference, then it will release an output signal to the load, in this case the heating element, and the heating element is then going to bring in heat or take heat away from the system to bring the temperature to the desired level. Again, the microprocessor and the load cannot be connected directly. Microprocessor output signals are in the value of 5 volts. The load in this heating elements requires AC signals of 230 volts and so on. Therefore, we require another intermediary, in this case an output circuitry using relay devices. This output circuitry is going to take in the output signal from the microprocessor and then change it into a form that the heating element can understand, and then the heating element is going to do its necessary operation. So that is the basic outlook of the entire system that we require to solve this particular problem. Now from here on, we are going to look into how this system actually translates from theory into practice, how the 8085 microprocessor does its working, how the PPI how it's useful in this scenario, how the ADC works, and all those things. So before that, just one more principle, that the ATC, or the automated temperature controller, it requires two set points, the upper set point, the lower set point. The upper set point is that point above which the temperature goes. The heating element is going to bring in heat, is going to take heat away from the system, or you can say we are going to turn off the heater, and The lower set point is such that if the temperature goes below the lower set point, we are going to turn on the heating system and bring in the temperature into the system. Now, obviously, this is dependent on the actual enclosure, actual surroundings that we're talking about. It could be that we require only just one single point, one temperature value. If the temperature goes beyond it, we're going to turn off the heating. If the temperature goes below it, we're going to turn on the heating. It depends on the actual system that you are dealing with. So now we look into the hardware description of the system that we have designed theoretically so far. So that the hardware description of it is as follows. The system has three separate units: the temperature input unit that comprises of the ADC and the amplifier. Then we come to the processing unit, which involves the 8085 microprocessor, and then the third is the control output unit, which involves the relays and the output control and the readout. The 8255 PPI can be taken part of the processing unit. However, it is actually a bridge between the temperature input unit and the processing unit. So the exact hardware that I've chosen for this presentation is there on the screen. The 8085 microprocessor, the ADC interface using the IC 0808. Then we have some latches, decoders. Then we come to the temperature sensor that we have chosen for this particular endeavor, which is the LM135. We're going to look into it in just a moment. Then the output drivers and relays that are going to convert the output signal from the microprocessor and give it to the load, and then the operational amplifier, which we require to amplify signal from the sensor to the ADC. This is the pin diagram for the 8255 PPI on the right hand side of the screen. Now we look into the temperature sensor that we've used here, which is the LM135. Now in the market, several temperature sensors are available. They could be based on thermistors, thermocouples, IC based, and so on. We have used a precision based IC LM135. So the LM135 is a 2-terminal Zener that has a breakdown voltage directly proportional to absolute temperature at 10 millivolts per Kelvin. Therefore, the output of LM135 is linear and it is very easily calibrated to the Kelvin scale. Both of these things are huge benefits when we're talking about a temperature sensor: linearity as well as direct linkage to a Kelvin scale. So few changes are required after the sensor, and the electrical signal can then be directly sent to the amplifier and the ADC. The range for the LM135 is around minus 55 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius temperature range. This can change for different LMs, such as the LM235. It operates from minus 40 degrees to 125 degrees, and so on. And some other benefits for the LM135: it has very low dynamic impedance, so the device operates over a current range of 400 microampere to 5 milliampere with no change in performance. So we have this huge range of usage over current, and there is hardly any performance change, which is very, very crucial when we are looking into a sensor. And therefore the LM135 is a very appropriate choice for this particular endeavor. And then I talked about that it has a linear output. The voltage is directly proportional to temperature on the Kelvin scale. Now we come to ADC 0808, or the analog to digital converter. It is an 8-bit analog to digital converter with 8-channel multiplexer and microprocessor compatible control logic, which is very important for the particular endeavor that we have here. The process used by the ADC here to convert analog to digital is the successive approximation method, which is one of the most efficient methods to convert the analog to a digital signal. The converter features a high impedance chopper stabilized comparator, 256R voltage divider, and a successive approximation register, obviously. Some other things about some very important advantage of ADC 0808: it eliminates the need for external zero and full scale adjustments. So you don't need those elements in your circuits, therefore the circuit becomes simpler and easier to deal with. It has a very easy interfacing procedures, and so yeah, it is also it's a perfect choice for the control system that we require here. Now we look into the ADC interfacing, of ADC using the 8255 PPI. So the 8255 PPI, to go into this images, 8255 PPI has three ports: port A, port B, port C. Port A is the input port, the port that takes in the output digital value from the ADC, and this value which is going to be sent to the microprocessor. Port C, upper and lower parts are used for communication between the microprocessor and the ADC. So as you can see, the port C lower is connected to the SOC and ALE of ADC. SOC here means start of conversion, and you can see that port C, the upper part of port C is connected to the EOC of the ADC. So how does this work? So the microprocessor, the main problem here is the ADC, the analog to digital conversion. It's a slow process, and therefore the microprocessor needs to wait for the process in the converter to run its course. To time that slow process with the working of microprocessor, you require the SOC instruction and the EOC instruction, the start of conversion and the end of conversion instruction. The microprocessor sends the signal SOC high to ADC, to telling it to start the conversion. That signal is sent to the port C, lower part of the 8255 PPI. ALE, as well as you know, is ALE is also turned high at this point, so that the address buses are operational. Then when the conversion process is over and the digital value of the analog signal is ready to be transferred to the microprocessor, the ADC sends an EOC signal to the 8255 PPI, which is then forwarded to the microprocessor, telling it that the process is over. Then the microprocessor is in the position to take in the digital output from ADC and use it to undertake the necessary logical steps. So that, in a gist, is the process of how ADC interfacing takes place. So now we look into the programming algorithm, which is, most of it we've already talked about. First we configure the 8255 input and output ports, the port A being the input port for the actual digital output from the ADC, port C, upper and lower parts being input and output signals for SOC and EOC, the start of conversion and end of conversion signals. So first we configure those set ports. Then 8085 sends the SOC command to ADC. It waits for the EOC signal from the ADC. After the EOC signal, and the things are good to go, 8085 reads the 8-bit temperature value from port A. Then 8085 compares the value with the set point value or the two set point value that we, depending on the system. And then the 8085 generates the necessary control signal to be sent to the load. For example, if the temperature is already desired level, it will simply let the heating element stay its course. If temperature is higher, it's going to turn off the heating element. If temperature is lower, it's going to turn on the heating element again, so on and so forth. So that is the basic programming algorithm that we require to program the 8085 microprocessor to undertake these tasks. Now we come to the actual code. The actual code is actually very simple. It requires only one subroutine, which is named here conversion, which is there on the next slide. This is the entire subroutine code, which I'll explain first of all very briefly. So as you can see by the markers at the right hand side, it's pretty clear that first it's the output is to send address, then it's using a latch, latching the address to give ALE high. By giving the ALE high, then it's giving the SOC high signal to the ADC, then it's giving the SOC low signal to the ADC, then the ALE low signal, and the meantime it is waiting for the EOC signal. Then after this it is waiting for the EOC signal from the ADC, which is here, the JZ loop part. Here it is waiting for the EOC. The moment the EOC comes into the 8255 PPI and then to the microprocessor, it then takes the digital output value from the ADC, the actual converted value. It takes in the value and stores it in the accumulator. So that was the subroutine conversion, and then the rest of the codes take place where it compares that the CPI41H is the comparing instruction. It compares the digital signal it got from the ADC to the value that was already stored in the microprocessor, and then it compares and it makes the decision of whether to turn on the heating signal or to turn off the heating signal. and that is the gist of the rest of the code. So yeah, the final slide here being brief on the output interfacing. As I've already mentioned before, the load in this case being the heater is a device which operates on a 230 volt AC. However, the control signal from microprocessor is a DC in the range of 5 volt. Therefore, you require an additional circuit to change that 5 volt to a 230 volt, which is taken control of by a solid state relay device. The solid state relay device is used to interface the control signal with the load, and using this device, the microprocessor is able to communicate with the load, the heating device, in order to change the actual temperature of the surroundings. And then the entire process continues on. The temperature is taken in again by the sensor, and then it's again sent to the ADC to be converted, and so on. The cycle continues as long as the system is there in place. So yeah, thank you. That was all for my presentation on how we have used the 8085 microprocessor and the entire circuitry behind it in order to control temperature of a particular surrounding of a particular enclosure, and how this automated system it removes the need for a human intervention, and the system in itself can take control of temperature of the particular surrounding in particular enclosure. Thank you.